We'll call the Borough Council meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will start tonight with the personal appeals part 1. So if anyone has a personal appeal in the public, please come forward to the microphone and state your name and address and write it down. Okay, no one in attendance here has a public appeal. Does anybody online have a public appeal? You good? All right, no one has a public appeal online either. Community minute. Does anyone on council have a community minute they'd like to bring forward? No? Okay. I think overall, what I would just like to bring forward, that Public Works and whoever else had to chip in this time, I think did a very good job considering the circumstances especially, and they got a lot of the downtown area and some of the off streets really cleaned up pretty quickly at this point. So I'd just like to, put that out there that I think Public Works did a great job with getting rid of the snow here.
I'll add, just driving through downtown coming here, right to the curb, and there's a wall there of snow. But the street is perfectly clear, and they did a fantastic job downtown. And the rest of the borough, but that's the one you notice the most when you drive through.
Yeah, I mean, they've worked around the clock. Obviously, last week, our new guy was supposed to start on Monday. We started him at 4:30 a.m. on Sunday instead. And I had a conversation with him about his first week, and he logged 74 hours last week. With his first.
He came back today.
And he came back today. So for orientation, ironically, a week later, we did orientation. So it was a long week for them, but they did an excellent job as always. I know I watched on video. I think I don't know if they were just having fun or if they were actually working, but the fire department put the snowblower attachment on the front of their ATV and helped out with their parking lot as well. And it actually looked like they might have been enjoying it as much as it was work. But we certainly appreciated that. We saw them with shovels. They were out digging things out and helping as well. The police department, I felt, did a very good job in helping us get the downtown area cleared, to get cars off the street. And overall, the entire effort, I think, went as smooth as it possibly could. The mayor called the first snow emergency that anybody could remember in 30 years. I think is what Deputy Chief Hampshire said. So surprisingly, it went smoother than what we had thought. We had the downtown parking lot open. We had community parking lots open. So we at least had some parking spaces available for people. Even though they weren't heavily used, people found a spot to move their vehicles. So.
Shane, are we good on salt?
Yeah, I mean, so as long as our suppliers get us the salt, we'll be fine. So we've been waiting a week for about 175 tons, which is kind of the standard right now across the state. If you remember a few years ago, we had heavy demand and everything was backed up from Ecuador. And then when it arrived at the port in Philadelphia, PennDOT showed up with 300 PennDOT trucks and took everything off of the boat. So I have a feeling we're kind of in that situation right now. But as far as our supply, we're adequate, but just need to keep the flow going. So
That was the first time in a decade I saw snowmobiles on Harrison Street. So at least a decade.
Well,
so
I had to look twice.
I couldn't clock them because there wasn't enough sun for the.
But I saw cross country skiers coming down.
There were 3 snowmobilers moving pretty quick on Harrison Street, is all I know. But that's the first time in a while I saw it. So I think they did
my
a good
neighbor
job.
saw them on Harrison Street up on my neighborhood, too. Yep.
They were booking. No one else was on the street so at the time. But again, thank you to the Public Works and everybody else who chipped in to help there. Next, any other community minutes from anybody? All right, next we have a special presentation, the Firemen's Relief Association donation. So Chief Miller and whoever else wants to come forward, you can all come forward to the podium if you want. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. President. Oh, that's really loud. Obviously, you asked me to come here and bring representation from the Firemen's Relief Association. Recently, this past year, to coincide with the return of our burn tower, the Firemen's Relief Association spent just over $120,000 to purchase 24 sets of PFAS encapsulated turnout gear. Over the last couple of years, Relief has really started to step up with purchasing for the membership instead of just being in the back door. With the purchase of the 24 sets of turnout gear, which I'll get into in just a second, they've also, in the last 2 years, purchased some radios for the new radio system, and approximately 4 years ago, purchased the Cascade system, and then a few years before that, they actually purchased a battery-powered rescue tool for the new fire engine. But obviously, this year, they made a major investment in the fire department with this purchase. This past year, we did lose a firefighter to cancer. Obviously, everyone here is aware of the PFAS problem in everything, whether it's bottled water or the water system here. It's also a problem with firefighting turnout gear. So some of the manufacturers say that they can create PFAS-free turnout gear, which that's a myth. The closest you can come is encapsulated. So basically, there is no exposure with this new turnout gear, PFAS, to the firefighters in any capacity unless you literally cut the gear apart. You'd have to take a pair of scissors and run it right through the inner lining for any PFAS to be directly exposed to firefighters. So we're very fortunate. We have Vice President Kaiser of the Relief Association here. We have obviously 3 delegates that are also members of the fire department. Just want to make it clear that the Firemen's Relief Association, for newer council members, is not part of the fire department. It's an independent organization that gets money from the state, largely to fund projects like this. So I'm very proud and honored that they've made these investments in the fire department in the last couple of years, and I know council wanted to take the opportunity to acknowledge it. So if you have anything you want to say.
Chief Miller, could you introduce just the other gentleman? I think
Yes,
it's
so
all,
we
I think it's
have
all gentlemen
in the back here. I'm sorry. We have firefighter Richard Johnsonbach, Master Firefighter Jason Jesmain, and Lieutenant Donald Riley. His dad is actually the president of the Relief Association. He was not able to be here tonight. So
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything that any of you want to say? Okay.
Thumbs up.
On behalf of council, and anybody can speak what they want, thank you very much for the donation. It looks like somebody might want to talk here. Go ahead. I'll let you talk first.
No, I just want to say it's awesome because with having 2 sets of gear and the amount of fires that we run in a year, we can take 1 set of gear, put it in the washer, and immediately be ready for service again. So it's a huge help on our end, you know, at running calls in the station. So thank you.
Anyone else want to say anything? Okay. I want to just say thank you for the contribution, the donation you made. Obviously, it's important for the fire department, and it's a good help in this day and age for, you know, what's going on in the borough with the PFAS and with the budget situation in the borough. So we definitely appreciate the contribution that he's made. Anybody else want to?
Mr. President, if I could just make one more comment there, just to emphasize the importance of this. On average, we would just buy 3 sets of gear a year. So they purchased 24 in 1 year, so that's 8 times our normal expenditure.
And that's, I assume, like that's one of the jackets.
Yeah, so this is-
or whatever they're called. I'm sure they're
This
not
was
called
not one of the
jackets.
actual relief purchase ones. This is one that we purchased, but it is the same. Sorry, it's not working to my advantage here. But I mean, you could say the liner is completely different than you'd see on a standard fire coat because it is that PFAS encapsulated system.
Okay.
Just thank you. That's all. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, and we definitely appreciate it.
And I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
I'm sure. I'm sure everyone.
Everyone's
appreciates
happy.
it. Yep.
All right,
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much. You can all leave. You won't embarrass us or anything by leaving. Well, we get it. You can stay if you want, though. All right. Next, we have the reading of council meeting minutes. January 19th, 2026 council meeting minutes. Does anyone want to make a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Labenberg, second by Councilmember Brown. Any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 7-0. We have no decisions on bids. Communications, so we have the 2026 Halloween Parade event request application. That's a recurring event, as we all know, so we'll refer that to staff. The Emmaus Run-In event request application, there's no alcohol involved in that, and they had that before, so we'll refer that to staff.
Mr. President,
Yes?
Mr. Pepe, I will authorize the street closing for that event.
Okay.
And do we have their insurance?
We will.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that was for the Emmaus Run-In event, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then the next item in communications, we have the CSW Furnace Street Emmaus LP petition to vacate a portion of Perkiomen Street. For this, I believe we have the attorney and somebody from Westrum, I believe, here, and also our attorney can do the speaking. So we'll let you go first.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm Chris McLean from Fitzpatrick, Lentz & Buba, and with me is Michael Mayer of CSW Furnace Street Emmaus, the petitioner in this matter. May I approach to just give you a couple handouts? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, as everyone might remember, CSW is developing the Foundry Flat Apartment Project, which was approved under the name of the Ironworks Apartments. It is 4 buildings generally located between South 4th Street and South 2nd Street. South 2nd is the emergency exit. There is a small portion of Perkiomen Street, as shown on the first handout that I gave you. That's the Lehigh County GIS, the tax map. It's kind of in gray. It's sort of like a rectangle kind of in the middle of the page there. It's along the southeastern portion of our property. As you can see, it's landlocked. There are no improvements. It doesn't provide access to any properties. And it's wooded and generally indistinguishable from the area surrounding it. I think that's shown by the Google aerial that's on the second sheet of the handout. Admittedly, that's not updated. It doesn't show our project, which is significantly, along, so to speak. But you can see that it's generally wooded. The area we're talking about is just to the left of the 2 houses. You can see the roof lines. The one on the right with the pool is 480 South 2nd, that's 450, and then the reddish roof line a little to the left of that is 480. So as you can see by the tax map, there are 3 properties with frontage. We have the majority of that frontage, and those 2 residential parcels just to the south of Perkiomen. We would like to construct another building as part of the project, intending to comply with the appropriate borough and state codes. We will need to deal with stormwater for that additional impervious coverage. And our engineers have said it would be great if we could use what would be our half of Perkiomen Street should the borough vacate it, as requested in our petition, for our spray irrigation and some of the stormwater controls. So that's the genesis for the request. And we would ask that you refer this request to the appropriate borough commissions and committees, and then ultimately we'll come back for a public hearing in accordance with the borough code. And I'm here, and as I said, Mike's here, and we can answer any questions that you might have about the request.
So
Good.
I'll speak a little bit. Have you spoken with the neighbor that's adjacent to whose house is over there on that other side?
We have
And-
not- I'm sorry, go
And
ahead.
here's why I asked that question. So you guys didn't own the property at the time, but I remember this being a point of conversation with them. And the original purchasers of the property talked about leaving that spot in there as a buffer because that neighbor had come in here and issued a lot of concerns about the project encroaching onto their property. So I think they probably need to be probably a part of the conversation before it's part of the news kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Because he did have real concerns when he was in
the
here
beginning.
about the project. I do remember that. Most of council, I think, was probably here at that time. Some of you, actually, maybe half of you weren't here. But I do remember that as a conversation when that property was originally brought forth to us. So,
And I appreciate that. We're not looking to clear cut the area. We certainly would like to keep the vegetation as it is, but just work the spray irrigation system in and around. Is that an accurate statement, Mike? Yeah. So that's good information. We appreciate that, and we will certainly follow through with that. But yeah, and I can tell you the intention, assuming the engineers can make it work, we're not looking to add 35 feet so we can clear cut it and say, hey, look, there's a basin here or something. We want to keep it
So-
as much the way it is as we
Roy,
can.
just 1 second. Let me follow up with Shane. So we're asking them to go to the resident, correct?
well, I mean,
Or who goes to the resident?
so I think it might be more valuable if you spoke with the resident first. You know, if borough council goes through with the process, they're going to get notified of a public hearing and they're going to come in loaded for bear, wanting to know what's going on. You know what I mean? And so if it was more of a proactive conversation with you as the neighbor, I think that might be more effective rather than us saying, hey, you know, we just got something from the Western Group and, you know, what do you think? You know, I think that at the end of the day, if I recall correctly, the last time what kind of soothed things over with their concerns was that's exactly the type of conversation that had when the previous owner who had bought the property literally sat down with him and had a conversation of what the real intentions were. I think that eased some of his concerns at that point.
Okay.
Councilmember Anders?
Yeah, just, is part of the intent to build, where would additional buildings then on that plot? Is there, or is this just for the irrigation that you're talking about?
On that particular, the portion that we are seeking to be vacated, there would be no buildings there.
No buildings there,
Correct.
but is there intention somewhere else?
Yes, so do you have copies of the petition that we submitted?
I do
Yes.
believe I do,
Okay,
yes.
so the second sheet of Exhibit A was a blow-up of the existing plan, and,
Yeah, it was kind of hard to read on my
Yeah.
iPad.
Is it page 5? for
it is
us?
page 6. So,
It has a number 5 on it, though.
Six, yeah.
6, yeah. It's 6.
so
Okay.
6 is, I mean, the orientation is not correct. It's, I'll say the up and down on the page is actually more east and west. But so starting at the top of the page, the dark gray boxes that go then to the
Correct.
left of the parking area, those are the 4 buildings that are currently.
Correct, I live on
approved.
South Second. I'm very
Yep.
familiar with the
Yep.
current layout.
Yep, so there's kind of the open white space to the planned south or toward of the 4th dark gray building. That's where the additional 5th building would go, approximately.
Same size?
Yes. Yep, just right there.
Shane, was this factored in with parking when we?
So I think so now it's interesting, and it's probably a legal question. If they're building another building, it probably falls under the new zoning ordinance, which probably puts them within the realm of what the parking requirements are, especially if they build that upper lot like they had talked about.
Yeah, we've
doing,
run
so.
the numbers
The
on
upper
that
lot's there.
calculation,
so-
and we should be good.
I think that they're probably going to be well within their requirements.
But that 5th building still has to go through all of
And,
those.
still
and I
has to go through all the
apologize, is the
approvals,
fifth building
yeah.
more on the side down by Otts and South Second, or is it on the
Right here.
upper side?
Yeah, it's toward the south
Right in the
second
white-
side of the property.
Okay, in that open there. Okay. And Shane, I know this is like thinking far out, but with the current LERTA, that's not going to reset or anything like that, or like our timeframes that have been agreed upon.
No, I'm not the solicitor. I'll defer.
Okay.
What was the question, if you could repeat?
So they had originally, we agreed to a LERTA for a certain time period. That would not be they would still have to complete the original project within the LERTA. This is outside of that LERTA that was approved, correct?
I believe so, yeah. That would be a subsequent development.
Okay.
And then I just have two questions additionally for well, one of them is more of a comment, the other one's a question. So I'll start with the question. Do you have any plans to revise the image to identify Perkiomen Street a little bit clearer? Because a plan sheet is required for passage of the ordinance that would be vacating the street, and it's really difficult to ascertain where the street is from just the blow up of the regular plan.
Yeah, that plan has meets and bounds legal description on it, so we can certainly create a better exhibit. We just wanted to start the process, but whatever is needed to formally adopt an ordinance, should council elect to go that route, we will give you whatever you need. No problem.
Okay. And then I totally understand, and I support the borough manager's comments as well, that you should definitely reach out to the individual who is the neighbor in this instance, because the borough code under Title 8 does permit progressing on a street vacation without having a hearing if there's no objection or there's no additional petitions. So it could be in your best interest for time and effort to just go out and try to send that feeler and see how it progresses from there.
Fair enough.
And and just to clarify one question, and this is probably dumb, but if we just vacate it, is it a piece of land that we actually own that we would have to sell, or is it?
So it's the most obscure piece of
I get
street
that,
on
right.
God's green earth, right?
Goes on
Like,
a tax
like it's literally in the middle of property that's already there. So like it's a street to nowhere basically, and you wouldn't even know it. So you vacate it, they can claim half, the adjacent neighbor can claim half.
Okay.
Is what would happen. So we have no good public purpose whatsoever, other than right now it serves as
It's just there.
a buffer piece between the
Right.
two properties.
Okay.
Does the other property owner have to accept it, or can they decline it?
The land itself?
So the Perkiomen alley that's being vacated, well, I said alley, but it's split down the middle. And if the south part of it, if they don't want to claim it, do they have the right to say, no, we don't want it? Because their taxes are going to go up
Couldn't they file to take it then?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I'd have
so
to-
there's a way for them to file to take that. I'm positive there's a way. If the adjacent owner didn't want to take the half that,
then they can go.
then they could go and try to file for it and take it.
And candidly, that's part of the discussion with the neighbor. If the neighbor says, hey, we don't have an objection to it, as long as you agree not to take the trees down, et cetera, but we don't want the land, we don't want our taxes to go up, yeah, we can absolutely document that entire, I think it's about a 70-foot wide strip would come to us.
Councilmember Balliet, I believe, has a question.
Yes. So if we would agree upon this, theoretically, would that neighbor have to pay for the lot line adjustment?
I don't believe they would if it's part of the original plan itself.
Yeah,
Or
and I
just
don't-
the subdivision.
I don't know that I've ever seen a true lot line adjustment
Yeah.
plan filed when there's a vacation. There's a deed that effectively says there's been a vacation, here's the ordinance. The ordinance itself gets filed with the courthouse, and new legal descriptions are created based on that, based on the ordinance.
Any other comments or questions from any council members?
I have sort of a separate question about the eventual plans to connect the walking trail to Mountain Street. Is that in the works?
I will defer to Mike to answer that question.
Hi. We're still working through we don't have our final certificates of occupancy. We haven't closed out the project yet, so we're still in the process of doing all that.
So it will eventually happen.
So if you're talking about the natural trail
Yes.
on our property, yes, that's part of our approvals that we have to complete as part of the project. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
When the fifth building goes in, will it be 180 units then?
It'll be 36 more units, so yes.
And it's 144 now, right?
Correct. It will be an identical building.
180.
Same
180.
architecture, same unit mix. And essentially, as Chris had shared, looking at the plan, there's a large basin for stormwater on the site, and where the fifth building would go, should we go through with it, there presently is a spray irrigation system to help offset the stormwater. That spray irrigation would then be in part placed in this Perkiomen Street location. So as Chris said, it's a low intensity use. It's not clear cutting the trees. Spray irrigation is really just designed to be absorbed as opposed to handled like the stormwater. So it's a
And I guess it would be for further review with all the with the consultants and so forth, because there had been early on troubles with water flooding down to South Second Street.
Well, that was, I mean, so to be clear though, that was because some things weren't finished yet.
Correct. I'm just saying if you're adding additional
the stormwater
construction-
plan, the stormwater plan change goes through a lot of approvals way above our pay grade. They're gonna deal with DEP on it. They're going to deal with the Lehigh County Conservation District on it. Like they have to go through that. That's a whole different set of approvals on top
I'm
of
just
things.
asking that's going to be.
Yeah.
Councilmember Balliet, are you okay, or you have any other follow-up questions?
No, that's it. I would just assume that the homeowner then would have ownership of two parcel numbers instead of doing a lot line consolidation.
No, it becomes part of the.
Yeah, I don't believe the street would have a separate assessed parcel number just because it's a road improvement. I think that wouldn't necessarily be an issue when it comes to the lot readjustments or reinforcements.
Anyone else from council have any comments? So at this point, we're asking the owner to go to the homeowner there because he was here quite a bit in the beginning, reasonable person, but he was here quite a bit, was concerned in the beginning, and then we'll refer this to health codes and sanitation. Mr. Brown, you finally get to do something.
Pass the buck, Nate.
All right, so hopefully you do your end and talk to the homeowners there, and we will refer this to Health, Sanitation, and Codes Committee.
Okay.
Okay?
Very good.
Thank
Thanks very
you.
much.
Does anyone else have any communications that aren't in our packet here? Are you looking for one, or? Yeah, okay, hold on.
I think we're okay though.
We're good? Okay. Next, we have, there's no borough engineer here, so there's no borough engineer's report. Solicitor, do you have a report for tonight?
I have no report.
Unfinished business, part one, there is none. New business, there is none. Unfinished business, part two, there is none. Does anybody have an item not on the agenda subject to Rule 9? Okay, next we will go to the mayor's report.
Thank you. The third Citizens Police Academy begins tomorrow evening and will be every Tuesday evening for the next 9 weeks. I believe we have 7 students this time around. Other than that, progress.
Thank you. All right, you got to help me a little bit tonight because I still don't know who's the chair of everything. Public Works, who is the chair of that one?
It's,
Thank you, Mr. President.
Chad.
Okay, so go ahead, Mr. Councilmember Balliet.
I don't have anything for official action tonight, but I do have something for probably like, say, official recognition. Just as you guys started off the meeting with talking about the snow, this year the borough has experienced an unusual high number of water main breaks. Last week, those challenges were compounded by a major snowstorm that began early Sunday morning and continued into Monday. During the storm, we had 17 full-time employees that worked 34 hours, almost continuous, with appropriate breaks, of course, to keep our 64 miles of borough roadways open and passable for our emergency vehicles and first responders, and also residents that had to be out. While snow plowing operations were underway, part of the crew was required to take a break to repair a water main break. After concluding their shift around 3 p.m. Monday, the team was called back out at approximately 6:30 p.m. to respond to another water main break. The remainder of last week was spent clearing snow through all of the major thoroughfares across the borough. This week, Public Works and crews are focusing on removing large piles of snow at intersections that impede visibility and create safety concerns. Unfortunately, due to limited resources, time, and manpower, the borough is not able to remove snow piles created by residents shoveling out vehicles throughout the community. Residents are also reminded not to throw or blow snow into the roadway when clearing sidewalks or vehicles. This creates hazardous conditions for motorists, pedestrians, and emergency responders. Additionally, please do not place household items, furniture, cones, garbage cans, etc., and other objects in the street of right-of-way to save parking spaces after shoveling. These items create safety hazards and interfere with snow removal operations. Thank you for your patience and cooperation as the crew continues to address conditions and prioritize public safety. So that was a combination of what Lawrence sent and some things I added. I also asked Lawrence, I said, is there anybody, particular you want to call out, for this? And he goes, I think the team as a whole did a hell of a job. They all pulled together. There was no bitching. They just got the job done. And to me, that's something that's actually really kind of special. Most of you guys have been on council for a while, and that's just really the new leadership that's out of that and the work that these guys create. So thank you, Lawrence, that whole team, and Shane for, being able to, do what you guys do with that whole division of our public works. Our next meeting is February 9th at 4:45, and I'll report progress unless anyone has any comments or anything.
Councilmember Anders has a comment.
Just a quick comment. So the North 6th Street water main break, I had been driving home that evening, and our crew just had pulled up. It was single digits out, and they were out there. Water was gushing, and they were just jumping right in. They were unloading their truck, getting ready to go. They're troopers, and like I said, it was that cold, and it didn't stop them. They just went out, and they were there working, doing their job. And like I said, that water was gushing out down the street. It was going down Harrison, and you got to thank them for that. And like I said to them, please try to stay warm, take breaks, whatever you need. And I'm very thankful for their crew.
Very appreciative.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Balliet. Next, we have Councilmember Brown for Health, Sanitation, and Codes Committee report.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. I got 5 items on the agenda for tonight for official action, so let's roll through them. All right, Chestnut Ridge at Rodale, request for security release. As some of you know, in the last few months, we've been getting these line of credit releases, and this one is for again, Chestnut Ridge, and our engineer, Jeffrey Ott, has signed off on it, and I make that in form of motion to approve it.
We have a motion by Councilmember Brown, a second by Councilmember Labenberg. Any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say no. 7-0, it passes.
All right, the next item is a street opening request at 446 North 3rd Street, the Elston residents. This was an interesting request, and I want to make sure that the rest of the other council members know about this. I don't know, Mr. Labenberg, if you heard about this story or not. So the interesting fact is that we have a moratorium on when a road is constructed of 5 years that you cannot open the road unless, and if you do, you put a request in and you can be charged up to $10,000 for the repair of the road that you open. So with that said, this resident at 446 North 3rd Street asked for to hook into the gas line. The way I can describe it is the way the paving has been taking place. Some of the street is half paved, the other street is not paved. In front of their residence, it is not paved. On the other side, where they have to hook to the gas line, is paved. So for them, technically, that side of the street is paved, and they would have to have a moratorium to open it up. However, what was key to this, for this approval from the committee was Councilmember Watt bringing up the point that these residents were in communication with UGI for an agreement already in process to hook up natural gas. However, UGI did not move in a quickly, timely manner to hook it up for them. So that's why they want to get connected. And the other point was made by Mr. Pepe in a joking fashion was if we would pave the other side of the street in front of them, that would be another 5-year moratorium. So it could be between 8 and 13 years of moratorium that they could not get a hookup. So there was two major factors there. This was kind of like setting a precedence kind of thing. Again, it was good discussion that we've had as a committee, and we moved forward with an approval for the residents at 446 North 3rd Street to attach to the UGI gas line.
So that's a motion?
That's a motion, yeah.
And
So a
just to-
motion by Councilmember Brown, is there a second?
Just to make a note, they're currently running on like temporary propane heaters.
yeah.
So they'd be running on temporary propane for the next like 10 years if we didn't approve this.
Yeah, the key the committee heard was, one, the only reason why the moratorium is effective is because the actual gas line does fall underneath the current paving, even though it's on the other side of the street from where they are. But two, like he said, they were already in the approval process with UGI, but as we know, UGI, one hand doesn't tell the other what it's doing. And so in the meantime, as they're going through this process and getting everything ordered, along comes the paving at the end of October. So they already had everything ordered, had everything coming in, and they've been sitting there without being able to hook up since.
So we have a
Chris,
motion from
I'll second
Councilmember
it.
Brown. Do we have a second from Councilmember Lavenberg? Any other comments or questions?
Just UGI is responsible for patching that up then, right? Because they're putting the line in.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions? So most of, based on what I just heard from Councilmember Brown, most of the digging up is on the side of the street that has not been repaved, most of it.
Yeah, so we looked. It's like it is going to go into the trench is going to go about 8 feet, sound right, into where the new paving is. But the majority of that trench is in the old part of the road.
The unpaved.
Because we just put that in, I'm pretty sure I was on council, so it's not more than 10 years ago. We just put that in the moratorium, I believe, correct? I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments or questions? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say no. Passes 7-0.
All right, next item on the agenda is Matthew Spangenberg. He's requesting to waive refuse fees. One was for the property of 216 South 2nd Street, and the other was for 215-217 Ridge Street. The committee, we voted to recommend waiving the 215-217 Ridge Street. That was the property that had a fire, and Matthew Spangenberg owns that property. And then the reason that we are waiving the fee for the 215-217 Ridge Street is because the borough has deemed that property as was it not vacated? What's the
Uninhabitable.
Uninhabitable. Thank you.
We are going to need council to vote on them.
Yep. So he did also request the 216 South 2nd Street. However, we denied that request because it is not uninhabitable, and it is not under borough's recommendation as well. So with that said, we forming a motion of 215-217 Ridge Street for Matthew Spangenberg to waive the refuse fees for 2026, I believe.
We have a motion by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second? Councilmember Anders, any comments or questions? Councilmember Anders?
So, you're saying the full year, but is there a plan to possibly have that built before? So should it be for the full 2026, or should it be until a timeline? If they build before and they have it thing, I don't know if you would.
Great
rebuild.
question. That was not discussed in a sense of timelines. It was under the intent of the full 2026.
So could the motion be amended to if the building becomes, if a new building becomes habitable, that it starts the fees up instead of waiving it for the full year?
Maybe I'm wrong, but I think in the meeting notes, I thought it said it was going to be more than 2026, but I read these on Saturday, so
Let me
Yeah,
double
I
check
did.
that.
But I thought in the meeting notes, it said,
Yeah.
Hypothetical. Like,
For them to get all the approvals and construct and get it that somebody's living in it, it's going to be next year.
They have to tear it down first, don't
They have to tear it down first. So I mean, they have
They
processes.
gotta wait till the snow goes away.
Well, not to mention they're probably going to want to put an apartment building up there, which probably is going to result in the planning process and other approvals.
okay. It was
So-
just a hypothetical with the
So,
timeline.
so for us to say that we would waive the 2026 assessment is not unusual. We've done that. We've done that before, and then because remember we do the assessment at the beginning of February, and then revisit it in 27, see where they are.
Let me make a note, in the agenda is attached is Matthew Spangenberg's request. And at the bottom of the, I believe the second paragraph, let's see here. Where is it at here? It says, it talks about the annual refuse for the upcoming bill cycle. So he's only requesting one bill cycle.
Okay, fair.
any other comments or questions?
Why, what's with the other side of the house, Nate? Is that, we're not calling it that, we didn't deem it inhabitable, but is there anybody living in that right now?
215 and 217 are uninhabitable, is from my understanding, Mr. Balliet. Nobody is living there.
No,
Matthew Spang-
181 and 183 Ridge.
No, that's.
Oh, I'm
that's
sorry.
the-
I'm
that's
sorry.
the-
You're right. Yeah.
They're
you're
all
right.
right by each
15
other.
Yeah, they're all right by each other. What a mess.
That's another story for
Yeah.
another time.
Yes.
But Mr. Balliet, Mr. Spangenberg purchased that property just
Closed
as
on
well.
it 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Yep.
Anything else, Councilmember Balliet?
So he wouldn't really have paid garbage anyway. He just doesn't want to pay for the garbage.
He got the assessment set to him. Yeah.
Any other comments, Councilmember
I'm not
Balliet?
not understanding if both are inhabitable. Why
They're
would
bo-
we?
They're both, from our understanding, it was both were uninhabitable. Both properties.
I
215
can tell you,
217.
my father lives a half a block down the street. There is nobody living in either one of those properties, nor I don't think you could.
absolutely cannot live in 215 and 217 Ridge Street. Absolutely cannot. There's no possible way you can. I mean, you could break in and live like a vagrant, I guess, but there's no water, there's no available services, there's no electricity, there's absolutely no utilities whatsoever, and you literally can't live there. The other property, 216 South 2nd Street, that's a different conversation. The borough there was no condemnation, there was no
Okay.
determination that you can't live there. So that's a completely different property in this conversation. And so, to be clear again, the South 2nd Street property, the committee voted to deny that request.
That's not a part of this motion.
That's part,
Both
that's,
of the Ridge Street properties that are the double, the committee voted to approve that request.
right, that's my confusion. Thank you
Yeah.
for clearing that up.
Yep, no problem.
Any other comments or questions? I have one comment. I think the Health and Sanitation Codes Committee should talk about formalizing that process as part of the ordinance, just so we don't have to go back. And however he's come up with a solution, I think we should look at that in the future. Because Councilmember Anders did have some valid points. What about this and what about that? Okay, any other comments or questions?
Just to add, that was something I had noticed when prepping for the meeting, that there was no sort of process established in the ordinance outside of the list of buildings and structures and uses that could not be assessed trash fees. So it could be useful to put in that tool just so that you don't run into a situation where someone's trying to use the ordinance against you or trying to say that just because this isn't residential doesn't mean I can't. It'd be nice to just have a safeguard in place.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So all those in favor of the motion on the two properties on Ridge Street, say aye. Of waiving the trash fee, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say no. Passes 7-0. Councilmember Brown?
All right. Resolution 2026-7, a resolution conditionally approving the preliminary final subdivision and land development plan for Emmaus Development Corp. LLC regarding the parcel located at 216 South 2nd Street here in the borough. This is another property that's that Matthew Spangenberg and his group it's 10 units that will be installed. Planning Commission has approved this plan. The only issue, for everybody's aware, is the only issue was an underground drainage basin for the stormwater, kind of back to what you're saying, Mr. Anders, about stormwater runoff. Any of the water that is there needs to stay on that property, so that's why they needed to do the underground drainage, and the developer has agreed to that and will do such install of the underground drainage. Again, Planning Commission did give a conditional approval with this, so I'll make that in a form of motion for approval as well.
Motion by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second? Councilmember Lavenberg with second. Comments and questions? Councilmember Anders?
Just one question. When I was looking at the plan, I do see the gas. I'm assuming the gas line is there and that they will not tear up South 2nd Street, which does have a moratorium as well. I just want to confirm that is not being touched.
I cannot answer to that, but we can also look, again, just review our ordinance, but I believe they can open the street at a $10,000 repair rate.
Yeah, but there is
to.
gas there.
It
There's
looks like there was.
There's a
looking at
gas
the
line
thing.
there.
I just want to.
Whether
make
or
sure
not
it
it's big
wasn't
enough to do a 10
unit.
unit apartment, that's
Right.
that I don't know. I don't know that answer.
That would be something else, yeah.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Passes 7-0. Continue.
All right, Resolution 2026-8, a resolution conditionally approving the preliminary final subdivision and land development and lot line adjustment plan for MPRE Partners LLC regarding the parcels located at 101 North 2nd Street and 181-183 Ridge Street. If you remember, this is Old George's florist with the greenhouse there. Again, I don't have a map to show you, but there's a unit that is on, what is that, Cherry? Is that Cherry Street? Cherry?
No. No, that is. Yeah, actually, I think it does
Yeah, I
become
think it's-
Cherry again.
so-
It does. Cherry breaks off there.
There's a unit there that has 2 apartment units and a commercial unit. The developer would like to add an additional 3 units to that building. And then he also bought the 101 North 2nd Street property, so he can make the building that's on the corner of Cherry and Ridge, so his lot can go into the property that is on 101 North 2nd. So it's a little bit confusing without some visuals, but however, he's basically bought that whole section there. There's going to be a parking lot that's going to go there to have for these additional units and with 8 spots of parking. Mr. Solicitor, would you like to chime in for this?
Yeah, they had already, the developer in this instance already owns the 181, 183 parcel, and they were just looking to extend that existing residential all the way to the property which they did purchase, which is the 101 North 2nd. So it's just basically, they owned this one part on the corner, they're buying another part on the other corner, and they just kind of want to connect the space in between them with parking improvements and an additional 3 units.
The drawing is in your iPad.
Thank you, Mr. Pepe, for pointing that out.
They've owned both parcels for a while. So the 2nd Street one is where the George family lived, and everything else was their greenhouse back when it was an operating greenhouse. So it's one long. I've always seen it as one long property, and I
And they
grew up
had
right
common
across the
zoning.
street.
It does look like one long
It's
property.
one
and
long
you're right,
property.
it goes to Cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So did I hear a motion? for
Yep,
that?
you heard a motion.
All right. We have a motion from Councilmember Brown. Do we have a second?
Second, Mr. President.
Second by Councilmember Balliet. Any comments or questions?
If I might also add, of the conditions that are going to be part of the approval, it still is going to require a review from the emergency management to see if the new parking area is going to be serviceable for ambulances or fire, if that ever needs to be an issue or ever becomes an issue. And then additionally, they have to submit a revised lighting plan, which will also probably be up to review by planning. And that was mainly because in the area, the lighting that was required under the ordinance was a little bit too overbearing. So they wanted to sort of relax it a little bit to allow them the ability to make it more residential. So if anything, it just shows that they're trying to make this integrate more comfortably and safely into the existing community.
Any other comments or questions? Again, this is, go ahead, Councilman.
Just that's prime parking for the Halloween parade then.
Yep. We'll organize there. I would just say as a lifelong, I grew up right across the street from there. That whole neighborhood, I'm happy to see investment being made into that neighborhood if it's done properly.
Yeah.
If it's done properly. So any other comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. So it passes 7-0.
All right, nothing else for official action, but I do want to let full council know and the public know that since our new zoning ordinance has taken effect, it has been very appealing to developers and developing such things as 10 units, 14 units we're looking at one place on Chestnut, another place on North 2nd. A gentleman wants to put 10 units of apartments. So it is a hot item right now, and there's a lot. So one of the things, Mr. Ladenburg, you brought up how many units were going back at the...
So there's currently 144, which is 36, and then another 36 will be 180.
So 36. So we only have a certain amount of EDUs that I believe we have, if I'm not mistaken. And
For
so
sure.
I think at one point, Health Sanitation and Codes needs to review that.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
You're welcome, Mr. Pepe.
We'll refer that to health code and sanitation.
But it could be, because it chips away, 10 here, 14 here, 10 there, so things do chip away. So, again, we have a limit, so just want to let you know. That's all I have for tonight, Mr. Pepe. Do you have anything else for me? Hearing none. Okay, thank you.
No, I'd like to finish the meeting tonight.
All right, it's progress. All right, next we have Parks and Recreation Committee, Councilmember Anders.
We have nothing for official action this evening. Our next meeting is Thursday, February 19th at 4:45. With that, I'll report progress.
Thank you. Next, we have Public Safety Committee report, Councilmember Watt.
Shane, would you like to just take the
Sure.
care of last resort?
Yep. So Borough Council several months ago reviewed the LVHN Payer of Last Resort agreement, and your directive to me was send it over to the solicitor's office, get comments and review from the solicitor. And so we did. You actually see their review in there. We were back and forth with LVHN on some of the details of what some of the contract language meant. So essentially, what this agreement is an opportunity for the borough to actually be able to collect revenue for those accounts where we do transports to and from Lehigh Valley Hospital or their facilities, in which case the people that we transported did not pay the bill. And so, as you know, our collection percentage when we send you to collections is just over 10%, right? So if you have a bill for $1,000, we're collecting basically $100 on every $1,000 that we're sending to collections, and essentially writing off the other $900 at the end of the day because it becomes uncollectible. So what happens is LVHN, we have a proposed agreement with them where they have a set fee that they're willing to pay, a set price that they're willing to pay, that as long as we exhausted all avenues ahead of time, we have the opportunity to send them the bill as a payer of last resort. This is going to be especially effective for some of those inter-hospital transports, things like that. We asked the question of, well, what about a 911 transport to your hospital? And they were very ambiguous, but it sounds like in their emails back to us, yeah, go ahead and bill us. No matter what, even if they didn't take that, this is a win for us because, again, when you're only collecting at a 10% rate, and by the way, if those of you that have been part of the RFP process for ambulance billing, especially the collection agencies, 10% is considered a victory in that line of work. Like 10% is actually considered doing pretty well. And I don't know, we interviewed probably last time we went out for an RFP, probably 5 or 6 firms, and they were all in the, if you collect more than 8 to 10%, you're on the very high side. So for us to be able to know that we're going to get reimbursed a fixed amount of money and not chase it in collections, to us is a financial victory. So our recommendation to you is to adopt this agreement.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Lavenberg, seconded by Councilmember Anders. Are there any comments or questions?
I'd like to thank the chief for his work in getting this straightened out.
Shane, and maybe you don't know this answer here. So if they end up paying us, they then collect it from the resident, or they just, you don't even know?
That's their
It
problem.
doesn't matter to
Yeah,
us.
that's their problem.
Okay, it could matter to a resident.
So I think one of the things that they're trying to do, right, is this is kind of that olive branch for them to help EMS agencies.
Good.
Right. I really think that's what they're trying to do here is they know that regional EMS agencies are shutting down. Even the municipally owned EMS agencies are struggling because we're writing off a couple $100,000 for uncollectibles, and I'm not saying us, I'm saying
Everyone.
just in general. And so if there's a way for them to guarantee that the people that they're getting the money off of at the hospital level, right, they're getting paid. If that's helping us out and they're getting their money in a different way, it's a win.
Okay. And it's a 1-year non-automatic renewal, so
Correct.
at worst case, we have 1 year to see how it works.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Opposed, no. Passes 7-0.
We'll meet for the first time this year on Wednesday, February 11th at 9 a.m. Progress.
Thank you. Next, we have General Administration Committee Report, Councilmember Lavenberg.
Thank you. We met January 21st, and basically we just went over our goals for 2026, and we took no action. We will be meeting this Wednesday, 9 a.m. by Zoom. Progress.
Okay, next we have Budget and Finance Committee Report. That's myself here. So we have Resolution 2026-6. The bill list resolved by Borough Council to authorize payment of the February 2, 2026 bill list as follows. Bill list $900,716.28. Payroll number 2, $211,754.08. Payroll taxes, $66,784.27 for a total of $1,179,254.63 done the 2nd of February. Do I hear a motion from anyone? Motion by Councilmember Brem, a second. Second by Councilmember Lavenberg. Any comments or questions?
Have we taken possession of the leaf truck?
Yes.
How exciting.
Yeah. It showed up and it's been in a garage hiding because of the snow. But it did arrive.
Can't see any leaves right now.
Can't see any leaves. But yeah, it is exciting. So we'll be able to hopefully close that grant out pretty quickly.
Any other comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, no. Passes 7-0. You can see the individual items for the bill list in there. You can also see the significant revenue and expenses for January 2026 in the meeting notes. I have no other action here. Our next meeting is this Wednesday at 11 a.m. and it'll be on Zoom here. So I report progress unless there's any other questions. Next, we have Community Relations Planning and Development Committee Report. Councilmember Brem.
We have 2 items for voting tonight. Sorry. I was like, I forget what I'm saying. The appointment of Christy Morris to the Arts Commission. It's a 3-year term expiring October 16th, 2028. She's newer to the area, but she's been interested in art for a long time, and she came... Can you hear me?
No, just pull it closer to you. I think
Was involved in the Pottstown Arts Commission. She's done a lot of work there. And she's also applied for the Board of Health with a 5-year term expiring January 1st, January 1st, 2031. She has been involved in healthcare for quite some time and has a lot of different experience, which would make her very valuable on the commission. So make a motion to vote to approve her for those.
We can do them both together.
Yeah, she stated the terms.
Sure, one motion.
Okay, so we have a motion by Councilmember Brem, second by Councilmember Brown. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. Passes 7-0.
And then we have some meeting notes from our January 21st meeting. Really just discussed goals for the upcoming year, which is our Vision 2040 plan, which can't believe that's coming so quickly, and how we would like to proceed with that, and along with a 10-year comprehensive plan, and if we would like to participate in the regional plan or do our own plan. So these are the kind of things we're going to be working through this year. Along with America 250 and helping Shane where we can, and looking into grants and other ways to fund some projects here in the borough. Progress.
Thank you. Next, there's board and commission reports in here. You can see the Recreation and Entertainment Committee meeting notes and also the Library Board meeting notes. Next, we have Personal Appeals Part 2. There is no one in the live audience, so anybody online have a public appeal that they would like to make? Okay, seeing,
Hold on,
Whoop.
we had an odd number come in, so I have to invite them.
okay, so no public appeal from online?
No, we're good.
Okay. Next, we have the Borough Manager's Report.
So first of all, Mrs. Watt, your committee meeting Wednesday morning, do you want to have that up here? It's like 48 degrees in the downstairs conference room right now.
It's a week from Wednesday. Do you think we're
A week from Wednesday.
the 11th?
Still gonna be cold here.
So it might still be cold.
GA.
I'll let you know.
GA and
GA,
budget.
yeah,
Budget
GA
is-
and budget.
It's gonna be cold till
you-
April.
Your GA meeting on Wednesday. I'm sorry, it's GA on this Wednesday. Do you want to just go virtual or do you want to meet here for GA?
That's you.
On this Wednesday?
Yeah.
Oh, I already said Zoom.
Everything's just Zoom, and
And
budget
Zoom
and
for
finance
budget.
is just Zoom. Okay.
Yep.
So we're okay with that. I'm hoping by next Wednesday we will be okay. I hired Alexandria Kern-Hickey as a part-time EMT. We have 2 items that we'll need you to vote on per the union contract. Both of these individuals have met their requirements. So the fire chief has recommended to retain employment with firefighter Michael DePrill after successful completion of his probationary period. So I would need a motion to retain him.
Motion by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second? Councilmember Brem with the second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 7-0. Next, Shane.
The fire chief has recommended to promote firefighter John Simonik to master firefighter, having fulfilled all training requirements.
Is there a motion? Motion by Councilmember Anders, second by Councilmember Brown. Any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, no. Passes 7-0. Shane?
Now everything else is going swimmingly. I'll report progress unless you have any questions.
Okay, there's no president's business tonight. There is no executive session, so is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilmember Lavenberg, second by Councilmember Brown. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. We are adjourned at 7:03.
So, go by Donna Butler's old office. There's a business in there now, and they're
Oh, it's Pilates.
Are we
It's
off
Pilates.
recording?
What is that?
It's like yoga.